Has Ruben Amorim changed his mind about Garnacho? The dilemma and the transfer continues. According to sources in Italy, Napoli are about to open talks again with Manchester United. Where is this Chelsea bid? What is going on? Manchester United actively talking with Chelsea for Nkunku. Rashford open to other moves? We will see, but he has got multiple options now on the table again. This is a busy last week of the season. Last week of the transfer window. God. To get it right. We've also got updates on Casemiro. Opportunity knocks for him to move away. Damning numbers on Casemiro right now and where Ruben Amorim is stood with him as well when I get into that on this show. But there is a chance he could still leave in this last week. Updates on that. Dorgu's contract that he has agreed to sign at Manchester United on personal terms revealed as well. Going into details on that and where we're up to with Dorgu and that transfer situation as well. And also academy updates with loans and multiple loans going out. Not many of the United Academy players are going to be making it into the first team. I think with the news that's coming out today, it's been made quite clear that that's going to be the case. So don't expect anybody to be breaking through. Maybe the odd one here and there. We'll go into all of the information and what's happened as we go through the show. But we're starting with Garnacho. We wanted updates. We knew we were going to get updates, but the one that's come out, and the most important one I feel for Garnacho right now, is the approach and, well, not so much the approach, but where Ruben Amorim is actually at. Now, we talked earlier on this morning about how Ruben Amorim has to decide whether he wants to persevere with Garnacho or if he wants the funds to actually go ahead and get better players. Manchester United linked with multiple targets, obviously. Garnacho moving makes it easier to get the likes of Victor Gyökeres and get him over the line in the summer. It possibly gives him that extra room to maybe go and get another loanee player in this month. Manchester United, like we're talking about in a minute, actively talking with Chelsea over bringing in Christopher Nkunku into the team. Obviously, we've got Patrick Dorgu as someone who we were expecting to come in anyway, but still, what does Ruben Amorim want? This will depend a lot on what the future plans are of Manchester United. So the noise has come out, and it was the United Ministry who reported it earlier on. I actually have spoke to him again and got a personal opinion from him on where it's at from what he's spoken to, who he's spoken to, at Manchester United. Now, Ruben Amorim has been more impressed with Garnacho over the last few weeks. His attitude has changed, his demeanour, everything, his work rate. He has impressed Ruben Amorim. And let's be honest, the last 4 weeks have been better for Garnacho. I think from the impact on off the bench from Liverpool, and obviously the impact against Arsenal starting that game. Yes, we've had a couple of blips in between. Played well against Rangers as well. Did well in a couple of other games. And last night, not so good against Fulham. But overall, Ruben Amorim has seen it. And Ruben Amorim is a man that looks like, we will see, obviously, by the time the window shuts, where he is really at. He has got a lot to put into this here right now in terms of the Garnacho situation. He has got a massive decision to make regarding Garnacho, because this will impact his transfer budget and everything that he does going into the summer. We know this. So where he has said that he has been a lot more impressed, or the reports coming out, noises coming out from Manchester United, is he is a little bit more reluctant to sell Garnacho now. He can see potential there and has seen a player that is willing to work there. I don't think Garnacho has been anywhere near the problem that people have made out to be. I think the problem we've got in as a United fan base right now, and we're looking at this, is we're just looking at performances and what can work better for Manchester United. Is it with better players coming in with the money we can get from Garnacho? Are we being this nostalgia FC and trying to keep hold of our academy players because we think that's the right thing to do, when really we haven't released our players at the right time and maximised the money on them? Are we about to change that? And this is the important decision that Ruben Amorim has got right now. He has got Garnacho, good player, working a bit harder, but still not working for him. We're going to get games like we had yesterday where we're not getting the high press, where we're not getting the maximum out of our possession, we're not creating chances. We're going to get that if the likes of Garnacho stays, because we haven't got another forward to link up with Garnacho, I think. I don't particularly blame Garnacho for everything that's going on. He's learning and adapting, but if the other players around him aren't playing well as well, then all of a sudden it looks like Garnacho's a bit of a scapegoat in this. And that's where we're at, I think, right now. It's not that it's all Garnacho's fault. I think Ruben is seeing differences in his game that are going to help him. But is there someone that can do something better in that position, I think, is the question right now. And obviously I think there clearly is. But when I asked the same source who was talking about this, about what he feels it is, they still say 70-30 Garnacho goes. That's where it's at, and that's the sort of general sort of feeling around the club. Apparently, that's what the report is saying, and he's been bang on the money with everything else so far. But it is still down to Ruben Amorim. If there are players that he knows he can get that Ineos are working on and are going to come in the future, I can see him letting Garnacho go. The thing that we can't do, we cannot judge Ruben Amorim on letting Garnacho go. We have to trust in what he wants to do. And I think I was making that point this morning in the show. Like, it's not Ruben Amorim's fault that Garnacho is going. It's the situation in the club and how it's been run, like we've said many and many a times. So Ruben's got a tough choice to make. And you know what? There'll be a lot of fans there that will see Ruben Amorim keep Garnacho, if he does keep him, and go, have we just made the same mistake again? How we not being the same as we was before at Manchester United, holding on to players for too long in hope that we can actually make more out of them. I honestly feel like Garnacho has got more potential than any of the other flops that have gone before him. I do. And I've said this all along. I haven't got a problem with Garnacho staying. I think Ruben will make him a better player. It just depends on the speed and where you want United to progress. Because I do believe that the money that Ruben would get, he would be able to make more of an impact instantly if he got other players in with this. And if it's 3 other players to work in his system that he knows definitely work for him, then we are onto something. There is also stories coming out of Sky Sports today that Napoli have opened talks again with Alejandro Garnacho and Manchester United. Fresh talks have opened. Now, they are far down the line with the Adeyemi move from Borussia Dortmund. And obviously we all thought that the Nacho deal was going to be off for Napoli because they'd gone and got Adeyemi. Not the case, apparently. Antonio Conte still wants Garnacho. And in the next few hours, Sky is saying, more talks are going to take place between United and Napoli representatives. Obviously, we're still over there negotiating and offering terms for Patrick Dorgu from Lecce and trying to get that finalised like we reported earlier on. But Garnacho to Napoli apparently is not off the table. But Garnacho, and what I am being told, prefers Chelsea. He has had talks and far down the line talks, like significant talks with Chelsea now, and there is a case that his head has been turned, I think, by Chelsea and the project there. Maybe it fits in better for him. Maybe he wants the London lifestyle. I don't know. I don't know what he's going through his head and what he's thinking for his personal life or what's better for him. But when it comes to it, the only reason now that I think Garnacho would move is because he feels like he can prosper more as well. I'm not going to put this all on the club and Ruben Amorim. United have said that they don't want to sell Garnacho, but they would be open, to the biggest offer. If someone came in and gave them substantial amounts of money, then they would actually go in for that. When it comes to everything that's going on elsewhere with Chelsea right now, obviously the clearest one that we look at with links to it is the links to Nkunku. Now, Plettenberg has come out and also said that Manchester United are now continuing to talk. I'll just read it out what he's actually said. Manchester United and Chelsea remain in contact regarding a transfer for Christopher Nkunku. This is also because a departure for Alejandro Garnacho still remains a possible scenario. Nkunku is open to the move. Nkunku wants this move to happen. That's from the player side of things. He's happy to go. It looks like Garnacho is happy to go to Chelsea. There does seem to be a double transfer, loan/transfer. So I don't think United will buy Nkunku going on. And negotiations are probably taking a little bit longer than what we thought with Nkunku and Garnacho. I think putting them both together just adds to it and it gets a little bit more complex, that's all. But when we look at it and we say Garnacho, I mean, he's not said anything. He's not doing any media. He's not doing any press. Ruben Amorim, when asked about Garnacho, we'll see in the next few days. Nobody knows. We don't know what's going to happen. He's not saying that Garnacho is staying. He's not saying that Garnacho is leaving. I think he wants to leave it open and let the transfer window just take its natural course right now, Ruben Amorim. He doesn't want to get involved in deep conversations or answer questions on what is going on. He has always knocked back the journalists. So from Ruben's side, he's not saying he's staying or going. And that's to the cameras. Behind the scenes, we're hearing that Ruben has been more impressed with Garnacho over recent weeks. And he's open to him staying. Garnacho has said he's not keen on leaving. But obviously he's had his head turned a little bit by Chelsea, it would seem. Talks have taken place. We know this for certain. He has spoken with Napoli. He's spoken to Antonio Conte. And he has spoken to Chelsea. So if he's actively talking, then his head has been turned. And he probably just wants to see what is out there as well. I think he's happy to stay at United. I do. But if he feels like there is a better life for him at Chelsea or Napoli, then he's going to look into it. He's going to explore. And United have said, look, no one is unsellable. United have come out and said, look, if the right bid comes in, then he can go. So obviously he's going to look around and go, okay, if the bid comes in, they're not going to keep me. So from Garnacho's side, you can't really fault him for speaking to other people. You can't fault him for talking to other clubs and weighing up his options. And I think that's exactly what he's doing right now. I think a decision will come this week. It has to come this week, obviously, because it is the last week of the window. But I think we'll hear something significant before Thursday, before United actually play over in Romania. I think we'll hear something along the lines of where Garnacho is, or what the bid is from Chelsea. We're expecting the bid from Chelsea to come out soon. I mean, it is starting to get a little bit late in the day now in terms of this so-called bid actually happening. Is there a bid? We want to know more. Obviously, people are saying that this has already been done. Just in as well, Manchester United will make a revised offer for Lecce, to Lecce for Patrick Dorgu today. So, in terms of Patrick Dorgu, moving on to that right now, to keep you updated on the situation with him. He has agreed a deal worth approximately 64 grand a week in wages to him to sign for Manchester United. It's a 5-year deal with an option for another year on top of that. That's what's being said. Dorgu happy to move, and he's pushing for the move. Not going completely out of his way and causing issues at Lecce. I think that's been made clear by Lecce on their side of things. But Dorgu definitely is up for the move to Manchester United and wants to move this month. United's stance on this, according to Sky, is they have their price. They will not overpay. So there is still a chance today that United walk away from Dorgu. The deal is in place. They're ready to move very, very quickly with the player and his reps. And it's just a case of now filling up the gap that there is between valuations. United won't do it with funds, with definite funds. It will be with add-ons. They have their price. They have their value. The add-ons are what is going to make this deal happen for Manchester United. Otherwise, we are walking away. But 64 grand a week in wages, that's what United have on the table for the next 6 years. Doesn't seem too much, considering what other players are on at the football club. He definitely will be nowhere near one of the top 20 earners at the football club, looking at that money. For a 20-year-old, is that about right? Garnacho's on 50 grand a week. Amad's just on approximately, we've finding out, around about 120-ish or something like that. Yoro's on 115. Dorgu comes in at 64. I think that's cheap for Manchester United. Sensible wages for a player that could be what Manchester United really need and helping the club out, and obviously be at the football club on them wages for the next 6 years. Well, it won't be 6 years. He'll probably have a renewal after about 4. I'm guessing. I can only guess, obviously, because that's how contracts usually work. But if he isn't cutting it, and he's sold on, United will be able to sell him on a lot easier because he's not on massive wages. So a bit of a football structure taking place there and actually having an effect on the transfer that we're having. Obviously, he's got to sign the paperwork first, and we've got to get this deal done. But if it does come to fruition and we do sign Patrick Dorgu, that's what he's going to be on. That's what it's costing United. 3.3 million, I think. That's a year. When you look at other numbers going around with United players right now, it seems like peanuts, doesn't it? Is a 20-year-old with no Premier League experience worth 64 grand a week in wages? It's exactly the same pretty much as what we've offered and what we're paying to Rasmus Højlund. So let that just settle in. Get into the comments section and come into that next. So get your comments in, everybody. Thank you for joining us on the show, and make sure you please get your comments in right now. Make sure you give the video a like. Obviously, make sure you have subscribed to the channel as well, so you are fully updated on all of the news coming out of the club. We are keeping you up to date with everything that's happened so far from this morning's show. We are now, like I just said, hearing, and I want your comments on this, Napoli back in for Garnacho. Dorgu personal terms are approximately 64 grand a week in wages for a 6-year deal. Manchester United are hoping that they can do a deal with Chelsea for Christopher Nkunku. And it's been said that the deal for Nkunku would probably happen even if Garnacho stays. They would still try and negotiate for another forward because we are expecting Marcus Rashford to go. And we talked about that enough this morning. Little update on that as well coming up in a minute. But first of all, tell me what you think, everybody. Get your comments in. By the way, we are live straight after this on Football Talks as well, our other channel. So please do join us. The link is in the live chat now. We're talking Ange Postecoglou nightmare at Spurs situation right now on that show live. So I want your opinions on that if you want to join us on that channel as well straight after this show. But on the situation with Garnacho and Dorgu right now, first of all, let's get into the comments section. Paul Massey says, Adam Nkunku is rubbish. He is injury prone. He cannot get into the Chelsea first team. Stupid to loan him or buy him. He has got 17 goal involvements this season, has not been injured for a year, and has a better record than any of Manchester United forwards. just in response, mate. But I think there was a myth over some players. He had a bad injury when he first moved to Chelsea. The knee injury kept him out for about 40 games, I think it was, in total. It was a disaster, I think. A disaster for him. It might have been less games than that, actually. But no, it is. I think he is a good player. I do. I think he has got talent. He was good at RB Leipzig. He was excellent at RB Leipzig. And he is better than what we've got. Let's be honest, he is. And if it's a loan, it makes sense. It does. It gives Ruben Amorim a chance to have a different feather in his cap and use someone else in that forward line for me. I don't think it's as bad as what people are making out. I do think the player will give United another option. And I think he is of a decent quality. Injury record is bad, yes. But, like I said, he's doing better than any Manchester United's forwards anyway this season. And that's what we've got to look at. And this is the case that Garnacho still might stay and Nkunku come in. So I look at the loan as a perfect. He wants to make the move to United. Chelsea definitely want him to be gone. And United can really take advantage of the situation, I think, here. And I think we should. I do. I actually do think that this lad could actually give us something as another option in rotation and give us a different option, a different type of player going forward. I hear that. I hear what you're saying, Gray, but he hasn't played a lot of football for Chelsea. I think it was a bad knee injury, so I'd be worried about that and look elsewhere. Look, there aren't many options there for loan. United are not going to buy a forward. They're not going to buy a forward. Let's not forget. Let's break this down. It's 6 months for Nkunku. That's all. 6 months. We're not committed, and he goes back in the summer. It's not going to be a waste of money. If he gets injured, we're unlucky. We are. But he's been injury-free all season. He's played multiple games for Chelsea this season. He has got goal involvements. Yes, he hasn't played a lot in the Premier League. He is struggling. When you look at the likes of Cole Palmer, I think he's annoyed that he's not getting in ahead of Nicola Jackson. I think that's the problem right now. He was earmarked as the man to come through for Chelsea. The injury did curtail everything progression-wise at Chelsea for Nkunku, but I think there is still a player there. Geffen says, nice low wages. I like that. Is Dorgu worth 64k a week? How much is his current wage? You can't look at that, Almac. You really cannot look at what Lecce are on and what United are on. It's a different world. You know that 64k for United for what could be a great prospect. And if United, like I said this morning, have recruited and done their research properly and scouted this player right, then that is a good deal for me. 64k is low. And that's for a good chunk of time. So he's not going to move off that. And we will be able to sell him on if that is the case. And he hasn't made it because he's on low wages. Someone else will be able to afford him. That, I feel, for all the younger players, should be the benchmark. No one should be on 70k. More than 70k if you've come through, you're under 21. Like, honestly, like the Euro one kind of is a different one because of what we had to do with Real Madrid. I hope we got that one right. But again, I'll say that, like, if he is the generational talent that we were talking about, and this is where you have to trust in the recruitment again, Euro is a bit hit and miss at the moment, but still only 18. Let's not forget that. If he does turn out to be that great player, then United have got him on very low wages again. And if they get to a point where they are earning a little bit more, it'll probably be because under this structure, because they've actually improved and got better. So I look at it and I say everything future planning wise for United with the signings that we're making right now and the players coming through is definitely where we should be. We're obviously trying to deal with the crap, which is the likes of, like, I'm not saying the players are crap, Some of them maybe, but Antony, Casemiro, Rashford, the crap contracts that they're on and stupid running of the football club is what we're dealing with now. We're trying to move past that. So I see Dorgu at 20, 64k a week. Honestly, look at that and think that is actually, I think that's actually better. I think that's a better setup. I think it's stable. I don't think it's too much. And it's definitely the lower bracket of wages that Manchester United are going to be paying out to players. And I think that's where we're at right now. Quickly, update on the Manuel Ugarte situation. We have had it confirmed that Manuel Ugarte is okay. He had a knock. He did come off. He looked like he was hobbling from that challenge that he put in, but he is okay and is available this week. So fantastic news on Manuel Ugarte. Before I forgot, just wanted to bring that in there as well. Let's get some more. Getting says, Lecce trying to destroy a player's career. I wouldn't go that far. I think they're quite within their rights, Lecce, to hold on for as much as they possibly can. Like we said, he is their best prospect, and they have got another offer on the table from Napoli. You would play the game, wouldn't you? If you knew United were in town, you take advantage of it. Well, I think United are doing their bits. Lecce are doing theirs. Let's see today if this deal actually does get done, but I do believe that we will be getting a deal off, or here we go, within the next 2 days anyway with Dorgu. I think we're at that stage now. It is way down the line. 64k is fine. I'm not sure about paying 30 million quid for him, though, really. I mean, it depends how much is in add-ons, doesn't it? If, say, for instance, £27 million worth of this is in instalments, which isn't a lot, and then the rest is made up in add-ons if he's performed well, then maybe it's worked out right, and United have got a deal still on this. Even if it does in total add up to 30 million, we may not be paying that 30 million. Do you know what I mean? There's still time to actually see this deal change, and I think there could be different numbers further down the line on it, but we'll see in time. Lecce have bought another defender in, by the way, so it does look like they're expecting it to move. Nick there in the chat, I can just see Lecce have bought a couple of defenders in this week, clearly expecting the sale. Yet I agree with that one. I do. Dorgu is currently on 12.5k, which is about 10k. Why are we paying him 60? You got to understand why. It's not that he's on that money now. If he goes to Napoli, he's probably going to be on something very similar. 64,000 is like what it is at Manchester United right now. His agent will negotiate that in because he knows the other players at the club are on that. You've got to expect you have to pay more at United. We don't work in the same environment as other football clubs. Lecce cannot afford to pay anybody high wages. United, we work on a different scale. The finances are different. We have to make sure that we are in we're in the bracket of what players are actually on at United and players coming into the Premier League are actually on. The Premier League pays more. It's why players come here in the first place. If there was that money over in Italy, no one would be leaving Italy. But every player and every agent take advantage of where the money is. And let's be honest, we earn a hell of a lot more than what the Italian clubs do in the Premier League. That's why it's more. You cannot compare to what these players are on at smaller clubs like that. You cannot compare. Look, everything could go wrong with this transfer. We all understand that. It could. But everything might go right with it. And again, it comes down to what I just said. If they know that Dorgu is the right man for them, and he is properly recruited, then this deal people won't even be talking about. We're scrutinising every single penny at the moment because we feel we've been ripped off and this club has been run like a bag of shit for so many years. Honestly, that's where this fan base is at right now. Ravel Burns, super chat, thank you, matey. He missed 48 games for Chelsea last season. Why not go for Felix? Better, in my opinion. He has missed 6 games since his big move from Benfica in 2022, but isn't playing. Not playing, not featuring. So maybe there's more of an issue with Felix in terms of attitude than anything else. And that's one thing we do not need at Manchester United. Right here, you've got a player who is chomping at the bit to prove a point. And I think that, personally, is where we're actually at. I think that's the deal right now for United. Rudrish says, Luis Diaz, 55 to 60k, Canate, 80 grand a week. We are giving stupid wages to those unproven players, even by Premier League standards. Liverpool's setup is different to Manchester United's. You know that. This is where people just don't understand the wage brackets and what actually happens. We can all argue what players should be on a week, but let's not forget, like, this will be structured in a way to suit Manchester United's finances. Nobody will be complaining if Dorgu hits the ground running. And let's not forget, our players will be on longer contracts than what them Liverpool players are on as well. So that's where we're at right now. And because of everything that was done before, and all of the players that are on these stupid amounts of money at Manchester United, the agents will always take advantage of United's situation. And that's what we have to deal with. We have to. Let's see what else we've got. Bring back Alvaro, cheaper, less risky, plus arguably better. We're going to have to just trust Ruben on this one, everyone, I think. That's what it is. I think we're going to have to trust him. I just hope it works out for him. I do. Anyway, let's get on to other topics and where we're actually at with other news right now. As we know, Nkunku's odds have been slashed to come to Manchester United as well. So it does look like that very much could happen. It could. So we will see how that develops alongside the Garnacho deal. We do need a little bit of an update on Garnacho, to be honest. It is getting to that point right now. But on Marcus Rashford, earlier on we spoke about him and his option to go to Galatasaray. Not only Galatasaray though, Fenerbahce have also been interested and made an attempt to speak to Manchester United and Rashford's representatives. This has all come around again simply because of Marcus Rashford not wanting to play in the Turkish league. He feels like he's worth more. He's apparently rejected all other offers from the Turkish league, the Saudi Pro League. There was actually rumours saying that there wasn't even an offer from the Saudi Pro League for Marcus Rashford. So that's where we're at right now. When you look at the situation with him, like we described this morning, Ruben has made it clear. Obviously, Manchester United has sanctioned the move away. Marcus Rashford is not going to make it into this Manchester United side if he stays. I think it is just it's an overall push from Manchester United to try and push it into Marcus Rashford's corner and say, look, we are trying to make it clear you're not going to get what you want from Manchester United, even if no deal is made. So what do you want to do? That's what I think United pushes on this. I still come down on the fact that Ineos need to make a move on this right now. Ineos need to make it clear what they are willing to put in, how much effort they are going to put in to help Ruben Amorim in this and move Marcus Rashford forward. So Fenerbahce and Galatasaray. Manchester United reportedly the other day are interested in Ansu Fati on loan right now as well. He didn't really work out that much at Brighton, did he? I'm not keen on that one. I think that would be just to get Rashford out of the door. And it's not really the move that we want to be making. We don't want make-weights. We can't be carrying passengers anymore. Ruben said it last night again, and I'll say it again. He needs to be the exact right player. We need to be very, very careful because mistakes have been made before and we cannot afford to make them again. We haven't got enough money to be making stupid mistakes. Everything that comes through this transfer window or everything that happens in this transfer window will be because Manchester United have made it work on their terms. And like I said before with Patrick Dorgu, United will walk away from the Dorgu deal if they cannot make it happen. If it doesn't work on their terms, they will walk away. It's as simple as that. But we will see on that one. We'll see if it does come to anything. I think today is the day for Dorgu. Going off what the reports are saying, the new offer is in today. Every time an offer has been made on that date, we have found out that very day the result from where Lecce stand with it as well. So let's just keep an eye on that one and let's see what happens from that today. Mainu is on 20k and Garnacho is on 50. That's the kind of money Dorgu should get. 64 is too much. He is unproven. Again, Almac, you're going to have to let it go, mate. I'm afraid this isn't how this football club works when you're buying players in. Academy players are run differently. They have to come through the system. They've been nurtured by the club and there is a rule set by the academy when they come through and sign these contracts. This is the difference. This is why clubs are pushing to take players in early age and buy them into their academies and bring them through because it's a different structure than transfers. You have got a situation here where you've got a player that is wanted by multiple clubs, not an academy player like Garnacho and Marcus Rashford. Everyone will keep on bringing these wages up and start making a point of it. Look, do you want to just condemn Manchester United completely to what is going on right now? Keep on going, because it's not going to change, I promise you. The wage structure is going to be one that's somewhere in the middle and not over the top anymore. The ones you should be looking at are the stupid wages that these players are on. This is a completely different ballgame for Manchester United. What they will have is a cap that they won't go above. And they are just trying to make the deals happen for the situation that they're in and what they can actually offer the player within the realms of the finances that are available to them. So, for instance, Dorgu could go to Napoli and win the league. Dorgu could go to Napoli and play Champions League football for the next 3 years guaranteed. He can't at United. So why are United having to pay a little bit more? Because we haven't got much to offer these players. They have got the plan and the project. And you may have to go a little bit more, but not go above what is that cut-off for United. They're trying to be sensible. Where I get your arguments about the wages and what other players are on. Look, you cannot compare to other clubs. You cannot compare. You have to understand what Manchester United are. We have always paid the highest wages. We've always paid stupid wages. The highest wages will still probably be there at United, but look at where we are now. I think we're 4th in the Premier League on player wages. We're trying to bring that down and restructure it completely to fit in the middle. And again, I think this is all a push for how the PSR is going to change in the future. I really do. Super chat in from Andy. Thank you, Andy. I had him clip this up. Ruben, what is to keep Garnacho? Ruben is going to keep Garnacho, and he will not leave in January. If he was going, he would protect the assets and not play him. I don't think so, mate. He hasn't got anyone else to play. That's the difference, Andy. Honestly, there's no protecting any assets at all. Ruben has said it's open. Anything can happen. Anything can happen. It doesn't look like we're going to sell Casemiro, but he's still not playing. I want to move on to Casemiro next, actually, and bring you up to date on that one. Let's just keep checking on everything that's going around. There is a story flying around in the Mail on Sport as well from Simon Jones. Manchester United are in the wings for Juventus midfielder Douglas Luiz. Now, the Douglas Luiz talk has come back again. Whether or not that's loan, whether or not that's a permanent deal, I don't know. I'm going to test the audience right now. Douglas Luiz, right now, everyone who's in the chats, live chat, hit me up. Douglas Luiz, would you take Douglas Luiz at Manchester United? Talk to me right now. Is that a deal? I'm going to give you a few seconds on this one. Do you think that is a deal that United should take? Talk to me, everybody. Is Douglas Luiz, the former Aston Villa player who went to Serie A last summer, is he the right man to fit in at Manchester United? Talk to me. Is that a good deal? Would you take that one? Let's see what people are saying on this. Let's see. I'll give you 1 minute on it just to get a few comments in and see where you're all at. I like Douglas Luiz. I think he's a great player for Aston Villa. I really do. Okay, let's get into the chat and see what everybody is saying. On loan, on loan, on loan, on loan, on loan, loan, loan. Yes, yes, yes. No. No, says Stephanie. No, thanks. Quite mixed, to be honest. Yes, 100% on loan. How old is Luiz? Douglas Luiz right now is 26. He's 27 in May. So he's going to be 27 at the end of this season. He is the player that should be in his prime right now. Right, so you're completely up to date with Douglas Luiz's situation. Good player, great at Aston Villa, obviously. He's missed 11 games this season already through injury. So there you go again. All day long, easy, only on loan. We're talking about Nkunku, who's been injury-free all season. And everyone's a bit concerned about it. Whereas you've got a player this season who's only just signed for Juve and want him out and has been injured for 11 games, and that's okay. You get where I'm coming from with it, though, don't you? You understand what I mean. In terms of the situation with Matheus Cunha, by the way. Manchester United are on Matheus Cunha's trail. It would require around 70 million for Wolves to consider selling him. 70 million is something that United would only have if, yes, you guessed it, Alejandro Garnacho was to leave the football club. United could, in fact, buy what could be better. We could buy 3 players worth 60 million if Garnacho was sold for 60 million within PSR regulations and rules. That's the seriousness of the situation when it comes to Garnacho's sale. That's why he's been talked about so much. You could buy Matheus Cunha, you could buy Victor Gyökeres, and you could buy Patrick Dorgu for the price. No, actually, let me just get this right. So the prices that are going around, get this, yeah? If Garnacho was sold, that would be the equivalent of Manchester United buying, for the market value and the numbers going around in the market right now, if United were to sell Garnacho to Chelsea or Napoli, whoever it may be, then United could go and buy Matheus Cunha, Victor Gyökeres and Ederson from Atalanta for selling Garnacho. That's the difference in PSR and selling a homegrown player from your club. That's why Manchester United are interested in offers for Garnacho. They don't want to sell him, but if the right bid comes in, I think they snatch the hand off of that buying club, because that's the realms that open up to Manchester United for them types of players if Garnacho is sold. That's the reality of the financial situation right now. In a nutshell, that's where we're at. And that changes everything. So you can understand why Manchester United would be interested in a deal for Garnacho. The reality is completely different to what we're actually thinking in our heads and what is right and wrong within the realms of the historical football side of Manchester United. That's the difference. Andy in with another super chat. It's nothing to do with Garnacho. United need the money to sign Dorgu and meet PSR restrictions ending June 1st. Garnacho is the only sellable asset. We don't need to sell Garnacho to get Dorgu, mate. That's a definite. We don't need to. We can still buy Dorgu without selling Garnacho. Obviously, we are going to save quite a bit of money anyway off of Anthony's wages. If we can move Marcus Rashford on and save some more from him, this would all see this through and make it better. You are right in certain sides of that PSR side though, Andy, but not quite on Garnacho. We don't need to sell him. We don't need to sell him in terms of PSR situation right now. But we do need to watch what we're doing up until June 1st. If Garnacho is sold, then we don't even need to worry about PSR. We can't buy Gyökeres until the summer. We cannot buy Gyökeres until we can't buy Gyökeres until the summer, and we can't buy Ederson until the summer. If we was going to buy them players, that is, and that's a task on its own anyway. But them sorts of players are not going to be available until after the season. So selling Garnacho now, if you wanted to go and buy Matheus Cunha and pay a little bit more in January, you could do if you sold Garnacho easily, and that's the difference. If Garnacho goes, you could get Nkunku, you could get Matheus Cunha, and you could get Dorgu this window if you sold Garnacho this month. There you go. That's the difference. That's what financial freedom and structure brings with the PSR PSR rules. And for United, they will be considering everything that's out there right now. And yet it does get the conversation going, doesn't it? It is intriguing, isn't it, how it all works. We have got a poll running right now in the chats. Douglas Luiz to United, yes or no? 72% of you have said yes. 73% of you, in fact, have said yes. People not concerned by his injury record, it would seem. Why is he coming straight back, though? Why would Juve be letting him go? What's the deal there? Douglas Luiz was a great midfielder for Aston Villa. Well, what is going on there? Speaking of midfield, would United have the room for Douglas Luiz if a certain Mr Casemiro is to leave the football club? Now, no significant movement from club to club for Casemiro, but an opening has come about. The chance of Casemiro leaving to the Saudi Pro League is there again, simply because, yes, El Nassr have sold Anderson Talisca to Fenerbahce. That deal is going through. Medical is booked. Jose Mourinho has bought Talisca, and he is moving over to the Turkish Giants, which leaves a foreign player open space at El Nassr. Could we get an 11th hour bid for Casemiro? Questions were asked in the press conference I was at on Thursday night about Casemiro. He has to find he has to have the right characteristics. Something is wrong with Casemiro and Ruben Amorim. He's not played a game. He's not played a minute in 2025. We're a month into it. Plenty of games gone. He's been an unused substitute for 6 games in a row now, Casemiro. And that's quite drastic. Again, we're talking here the realms of Marcus Rashford territories a little bit. Different scenario, different circumstances, but in terms of Ruben and who he wants to use in his squad, whereas Casemiro hasn't been left out of matchday squads completely because of his attitude in training. I think he has got that professional attitude that Rashford doesn't. But Casemiro is not fitting into Ruben Amorim's system. There are some big players here that Ineos need to help with Ruben. Now that El Nassr, and I'm just looking deep into this, and I just picked up on it because the transfer had been done with Anderson Talisca, and that's now in place. Medicals booked. Could Casemiro move to Saudi Pro League now? And that's interesting. Yes, obviously he's still got the offers from the MLS. It's whether or not he wants to go over there. I don't know where his head is at. There's been nothing on Casemiro, and it's gone under the radar with everything else going on. So, again, I think we're going to have to wait this one out. But opportunity is there. The Saudi Pro League window shuts in 4 days. So it's earlier than Manchester. It's earlier than the Premier League one. So something would have to happen. I think if Casemiro's in the squad for... I'm going to say this now. If Casemiro's in the squad for this week's game against Steaua Bucharest, I think it's game over. I think he stays at Man United and we're not able to move him on. And that, I think, personally, is another failing of Manchester United now this club has been run. I really do. But it's up to Ineos, isn't it? It's up to what they can do. Andy, another super chat. Thank you, mate. You didn't need to do that many, but absolute legend, buddy. Thank you. Napoli are full of shite, he says. Forget them. They cannot use the majority of Carragher's money on one player. And Kunku on loan, I would with option, not obligation. I don't think United would put an obligation in on Kunku because Chelsea want too much money. Please give the video a like, everybody. That has just got us over 200 live likes. Quick fire a Monday lunchtime show. We are now moving across to football talks. We're going to be talking Spurs in depth as well right there. But for United updates, that is everything done for now. Thank you, everybody, for being part of the show. Please give your comments in at the bottom when the live has finished. Check out the other content on the channel. Subscribe to the channel to make sure you're completely up to date with all Manchester United news, everybody. Oh, you got Rawls with another super chat right at the end. Thank you, mates. They are supposed to have sorted out terms with Casemiro. Take the 20 million and get him out of here. Like a lot would agree. Me included, mate. I would just take the loss, like, literally right now, 20 million, get him gone. I would jump at that deal. El Nassr, I think, can afford him easily. I think that's a deal United should be looking at 100%. But, hey, we will see what happens. A few more days left of the window for Casemiro to move on, amongst any others. I'll be back later on FUTV, giving you your evening update, as always, everybody. So I will see you then. So, for me... that is it. We're now over to Football Talks. Come and join us there. You will be redirected. Please do come and join us over there for the conversation. We'll carry on a little bit about everything else going on in the Premier League. And we're going to get into some deep convo on Spurs' situation. At least we're not Spurs, United fans. But for now, that's it. Cheers, everybody. Like the video, share and subscribe. I'll see you over on Football Talks.